So our speaker today is Dr. Tyra Manning. She's an award-winning author of Where the Water Meets the Sand, which was awarded the Independent 2017 Benjamin Franklin Gold Award for Best Memoir and the Texas Association of Authors Autobiography. And quite interesting. I really appreciate the opportunity to see that. So, Dr. Manning, the floor is yours.
Well, my name is Tyra, and people say, what is your name? And I say, it's Tyra, like Tyra Banks, but she's younger than me, but I've had it longer. And she's also prettier. They never forget my name. Let me tell you what a pleasure it is to be here. The book that I'm going to talk a little bit about is really a book that I wrote to honor my late husband, the love of my life, who was killed in Vietnam during the Vietnam War. But my purpose in speaking and sharing the book, and the second book that I'm writing now that's coming out, is to help debunk the stigma toward people who suffer from mental illness, or for those people who love people who suffer from mental illness. When I tell you my story, you'll know why that's so important to me. Mental illness touches the lives of millions of Americans, and it can affect anyone. In fact, about 1 out of 4 Americans will at some point in their life experience a mental health issue. Many of you in the room may have struggled with some issues during your lifetime, or you may have known through experience someone you loved or you cared about who did. That's where that 1 in 4 comes from. And despite how pervasive mental illness is in our society today, we continue to stigmatize it and the people who suffer from it. My dream would be to be just a little part of a movement to transform the culture of mental health in America so that people know it's safe to get treatment and to step up and to be who they are. I believe there is a power greater than any of us that can help us heal if we're willing to embrace the opportunities that are placed in our path. And throughout my life, that spiritual power has inspired who I am. My struggles have taught me a compassion that stayed with me over the years, and they made me more sensitive and caring in my roles as mother, teacher, principal, and superintendent. Each day I meditate and I say the Serenity Prayer 5 times out loud in the morning and 5 times out loud at night. It is my mantra. And these days I spend a lot of time sharing my personal journey of hope with individuals and families experiencing depression, addiction, and loss. I also work with individuals and groups to encourage them to tell and write their own personal stories, of overcoming adversity through writing workshops. Because when we tell our stories, we learn that we're more alike than we are different.
This is in commemoration of your being here.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate your telling your story and everything that you've done so far.
Thank you so much.
Now, in addition to that, we have the Rotary Seal in chocolate.
In chocolate.
Made at a confectioner here in Stone Oak.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sure.
We definitely have to work together as a community to build awareness. I think each of us can be an ambassador of sharing information, as the information that was shared by Dr. Manning I feel that after listening to her heartfelt story, a lot of us forget that there is many people that are suffering from mental illness and so forth. So I do feel that as a community, we can speak more about it so that there isn't that stigma as Dr. Manning spoke of.
People in my workplace and even out, I have a son with a traumatic brain injury, and a lot of times people will think that they're handicapped or mentally ill when they're not, or they treat them differently. They don't talk to them directly, they talk to other people or their caregivers instead of treating them like a person and talking straight to them. It's really sad. And then the other thing that they also do is they talk very loudly, thinking just because they're handicapped or have a mental issue that they're hard of hearing, so they have to yell at them. And it's really kind of sad that people are no more aware of that they're like really more normal than you think they are. And if you would just treat them like you would your own self or a loved one, then it would help a whole lot, in my opinion.
Tyra's story really touched me. It's a little personal for me, to be perfectly honest. And the stigma of mental health is something that we have to get through, because all of us at some time have a situation where we in turn may need care ourselves, and we shouldn't be embarrassed.
I just want to take a minute to thank Dr. Manning for her presentation today. The one thing that resonated with me in particular was having her story out in public and not having her past concealed. It just gave me a sense of relief that people can be accepted for whom they are, and that after her presentation, it just made me a lot more at ease with the things that I've seen in my life and the people that I encounter.